What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about this whole revelation that's been going on concerning COVID-19 and the vaccine and who knew what, and now I guess ivermectin. All of these things that's been kind of a subject of soreness between us. These things have broken people up. It's separated families. It's estranged friends from friends and torn apart communities because we didn't know who to trust all of these years. And that's actually something that I talked about on a video years ago. I said that our children trust us, but who are we trusting? Who do we put our trust in? And it's that lack of trust that led to the fracture in our country, pretty much throughout the whole COVID thing, because everybody had very, very strong feelings one way or the other. Either you were not protecting grandma, or you were co-signing on horse paste or whatever, making people feel crazy and silly and all of this stuff. All of your late night hosts were going in on anybody who dared to think independently about this whole thing or dared to even think for themselves. But you saw this, guys. You saw it, and it got very, very ugly. Now here it is, years later, and we start to have people slowly begin to admit that they knew that it was all bullshit. They knew that COVID wasn't being responded to or treated in an appropriate manner throughout that whole thing. Many of us were saying that early treatment was the key, and we were saying that based upon some very credible, very accredited professionals, top professionals, how did they say it in the Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark? Top men. And we knew this. So we were listening to these people and we were trying to get their message out there. But it was a strange thing because it seemed like they were being silenced. You know, why wasn't the major news media outlets? Why were they not covering this? Was a great big question that I was asking. Why was it that you only saw Anthony Fauci on these outlets? It was weird, as if there was only one spokesperson. There was only one person who was qualified to talk about COVID and the treatment of it and exactly what it was when the whole nation didn't know what it was. Only one person was allowed to speak, and anyone who might have had a difference of opinion was silenced. But now you have people starting to come out and act like, oh yeah, we were wrong about that. But there's no way we could have known that we were wrong about that, as if people weren't trying to tell you. I personally, on this minuscule channel that I have, had a couple of videos taken down and had charges of misinformation hurled at me because I was trying to expand the message that was out there. I didn't pull this shit out of my ass. I didn't make it up on my own. I'm not a doctor, as many of you reminded me back then. Oh, you're a doctor now? No. But I wanted you to listen to a doctor that wasn't necessarily Anthony Fauci. I mean, I thought it was always a good thing to have differing opinions. When you don't agree with a diagnosis, when you go to a doctor or a hospital, what do people ask for? They ask for a second opinion. But we were not allowed to have a second opinion. And so lives were lost. Not tens, not hundreds, not thousands, but tens of thousands, possibly millions of lives that were lost because they could have had early treatment, but they were denied it. It was a laughing matter. As I said, on a lot of these late night talk shows, it was the punchline of Kimmel, of the other guy, Stephen Colbert, the other guy, the funny looking dude, the other, who was it? Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. You know, all of them had a great big laugh at the horse paste. And one of them also, one of these media talking heads people was this dude Cuomo, Chris Cuomo. Okay, you might remember him. He got fired from CNN a few years back for cooperating or enabling his brother in some sexual harassment case that was going on back then. Excuse me, guys. So anyway, Chris Cuomo was one of those talking heads on CNN that was making light of ivermectin, that was making light of the possible dangers that surrounded the COVID vaccine. But here it is years later. And listen closely to what Chris Cuomo has to say. Now, I saw this on X, and this was on the Refuge of Sinners X page. Okay, so big shout out to them. I want you to hear what he has to say now about the horse paste, about ivermectin. Pay attention and listen closely, guys, because this thing is kind of low, but I want you to hear it.
I'll tell you something else that's going to get you a lot of hits. I am taking what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin. Ivermectin was a boogeyman.
Chris Cuomo is now taking a regular dose of ivermectin. He's taking a regular dose. The rest of us are having a very hard time getting it if we want to. You go to the pharmacy, they don't want to prescribe it to you, even though ivermectin has been out for freaking years. For longer than most of us have been alive, ivermectin has been out. It was awarded a Nobel Prize when it was discovered. It's safer, just as safe or safer than Tylenol. It's very cheap, but we can't get it now all of a sudden because they want to push these shots. But let's go on and hear what he has to say.
Early on in COVID, you couldn't talk about it. That was wrong. We were given bad information about ivermectin. The real question is why.
Motherfucker, do you hear this dude? Why? The real question is why. Well, I just said it. The reason why is not that hard to figure out. If you have 1/4 of a brain, because they wanted to push these shots. They cost billions. They made billions selling these poison shots all over the place. And he's asking why. It's billions versus cheap. All right, we're talking the jab versus the horse dewormer. Ivermectin costs nothing, more effective. You're asking why. Come on, bro. It's not that hard to figure out. But I guess it is, because look at the pushback we've gotten all of these years. But now, all of a sudden, Chris Cuomo has had a revelation. Go on, you sack of shit.
Everyone's going to say, Joe Rogan was right. No, Joe Rogan was saying, yeah, he was right. But
Oh, okay. You hear how he tried to just dismiss that? Everyone is saying Joe Rogan was right. No, Joe Rogan was... Oh, yeah. Joe Rogan was right. But that's not important. That's what this dude is saying right here. Listen to this dude. Hold up.
Joe Rogan was saying, yeah, he was right. But that's not what matters. What matters is the entire clinical community knew that ivermectin couldn't hurt you. They knew it, Patrick. I know they knew it. How do I know? Because now I'm doing nothing but talking to these clinicians who at the time were overwhelmed by COVID, and they weren't saying anything. Not that they were hiding anything, but it's cheap, it's not owned by anybody, and it's used as an antimicrobial, antiviral, in all of these different ways. It has been for a long time.
For malaria for over almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh, we know that now, huh? We know that now. He's saying, oh yes, they knew it. They knew it. Of course they knew it, but they couldn't say anything because they would have lost their jobs. They would have lost their ability to practice. That's what was going on back then. It's funny how people get this memory loss thing now that it's convenient. Meanwhile, the people who put everything out on the line, like Dr. Peter McCullough, like Dr. Pierre Corey, like Dr. Robert Malone, like all of them who were doing this back then. There were so many of them who had to go practically underground, who had to go into hiding. These people, by the way, that I just named are not just anybody. These people are all at the top of their fields. They're at the top of their fields in the world. And they were shut up. They were run out. And a lot of them, they're still fighting for this. They're still going through it. They're still risking it. But this dude can sit on a live stream or something, and he can act like, oh, I wonder why they didn't say anything. This dude is full of shit, and he's getting away with it. They're all getting away with it. It's amazing.
So, and my doctor, who is now my doctor, was using it during COVID on her family and on patients, and it was working for them. So, they were wrong to play scared on that. Didn't know that at the time. Know it now.
No. See, once again, guys, didn't know that at the time. How did you not know it at the time when everybody was saying it? People were saying it, all right? The ones who weren't afraid were saying it. Even people like me, like I said, on my little YouTube channel, I was saying it. And when I was saying it, I was telling you guys, I care more about you, my viewers. I care more about your families than I care about fucking super chats and super thanks. I was saying this. While everybody else was tiptoeing around it, afraid to say anything. Oh no, we don't want to go there. Who was talking about it? Oh, Mark with a C was talking about it, but that's okay. He's crazy. And everybody liked me who was saying that. Oh, you don't have to listen to him. We'd rather talk about Brie Larson or some shit. You know what I mean? But I was trying to tell you what was going on. But anyway, moving on.
Admit it now, reporting on it now. Because I think that's the job. The idea that, well, you were a vaccine proponent. Why wouldn't I have been a vaccine proponent?
Because people were warning your dumbass. That's the reason why. You're a journalist. If I could know this to talk about it, then you definitely could have known about it, Chris Cuomo. I am a nobody. All right. I know some people are like, oh, you're beating your own horn right here, Mark. You're blowing your own horn. You're patting yourself on the back. Fuck you. I lost subs. I got checked. I lost videos, like all types of stuff, because people wanted to insult me back then. So yeah, excuse me if I take a few moments of your life right now to say that I did say these things. All right.
Now there are questions. Oh no, but I knew at the time. No, you didn't. What you knew was that there were people telling you to be resistant to what the government was telling you to do.
Nope. Once again, bullshit. Sorry, guys. Got to keep stopping this. He's saying that when we tried to warn people about this, it wasn't because of what we knew. It was because we were being told to be anti-government. Once again, bullshit. You can't let this guy get away with this. This is the reason why I'm doing this video in my own tiny little way, just to point out the bullshit that's going on right here, because these people are going to try to change the narrative. This is the reason why I don't take down any of my videos. Well, those videos I had to put over onto my Rumble channel. Maybe I'll leave the link in the pinned comment below so you can check that out if you want to do all that scrolling. It goes back years, all right? But what I'm saying is, those of us who paid attention were listening to the Pierre Corys. We were listening to the Robert Malones. We were listening to the Peter McCullers. And once again, we were checking their credentials. We were listening to Robert Kennedy. We were listening to Senator Ron Johnson. We were listening to, was it Rand Paul? You know, we were listening to all of these people. All right. And we were questioning the science when Fauci was telling you, don't question the science. When Joe Rogan had it right. When Joe Biden was telling us it's 100% safe. The vaccines are 100% safe. Don't do the ivermectin. When, who was it? Who was that website? Was it the Blue Cross or something like that? The CDC, who said, don't be an idiot. You know, don't take horse dewormer or something like that. We were looking into it. So it wasn't like we just wanted to be anti-government. We wanted to trust our government. It was our government that turned their backs on us. That was the problem, because it didn't make sense. The more you dug into it, if you cared to, the more you dug into it, the more you realized none of this shit makes any sense. So anyway, I think that's it. Let me make sure this idiot, that's all he said.
That there were people telling you to be resistant to what the government was telling you to do. I'll tell you.
Okay, that's it. All right, so like I said, guys, there it is. And you might have heard also that AstraZeneca, the vaccine, has been pulled off the market worldwide, pulled off the market, because they are now admitting that it has a definite link to forming rare forms of blood clots. Okay. So how many people had to go through that? How many people had to suffer and not be heard and be made fun of online? I've seen it myself when they tell their stories about how they went into getting these shots healthy, led a healthy lifestyle. They weren't fat. They were joggers. Some of them were athletes, and some of them didn't survive. Some of them caught these blood clots, heart conditions. What is it? You know, all of that myocarditis, you know, pericarditis, you know, all of these things. They caught them after they got the shot. Didn't have them before. And they had to die to the sound of laughter on Jimmy Kimmel, on Jimmy Fallon, on Stephen Colbert. You know, only to have motherfuckers like this come on now and say, oh, guess what? I'm on ivermectin. I take ivermectin regularly. When are we going to wise up? And I'm sorry to say this, guys. I have a feeling that the reasons why all of this stuff is starting to come out now the way that it is because they're probably gearing up for another round of something else. You know, if they can't sell the COVID vaccine now, They're going to sell something else. They're going to come up with something else that was man-made, that was made inside of a lab somewhere. Because we've already proven that we'll go for fucking anything. That's the tragedy of it. And we'll fight amongst each other again. And we'll lose loved ones all over again. Because nobody wants to ask questions. Or even if you ask questions, you don't have the balls to seek the answers to those questions. But there it is, guys. I wanted to just run this by you. I don't know how long it'll be up. I'll probably get this taken down. I don't know. But I just put that out there for all of the people who have been following me all of these years, who might remember all of the times that I spoke about this. Some of you might remember that you shouted me down, that you no longer dealt with me, that you unsubscribed from me. We have fallings out over it because you wanted to attack me in my comment section. I feel sorry for your son. My son is doing fine. He's unvaxxed. I'm doing fine. Never been healthier. He's playing football, doing great. I feel sorry for your son. You're going to feel bad about this later, years ago. Anyway, that's it, guys. Just wanted to blow off some steam about that because I just can't believe this shit. But anyway, you guys can get in the comment section. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Thank you guys for your support. If you want to support the channel as YouTube just dogs my ass out, you can look in the pinned comment below and you can check out the Cash App link below. Also, you can hit me up on the Super Thanks feature that is on all of my videos. Thank you guys for your support. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.